Welcome to Nocturnal Transmissions, the fortnightly podcast that brings you dark tales, both old and new, performed by your humble narrator, Kristin Holland. Let's get to it, shall we? Blind Date. She adjusted her dress in the mirror, staring long and hard at herself, a hint of doubt behind her eyes. You still have time to back out. No, you've staked everything to get this arranged. It was only the first date, the get-to-know-you that everyone secretly dreads. For Laura, it went much deeper than just looks. Appearances she was fine with. It wasn't all about that. But what if his personality wasn't right? There's only one way to find out. She straightened her posture, giving herself a final once-over. Her brown hair fell in waves to her shoulders, styled just the way he liked. She also wore the blue cocktail dress he gave her for Christmas a few years back, and the diamond bracelet from their 10th anniversary. She reached into a purse and grasped her wedding band. She hadn't worn it since the accident. This would be the first time since that horrible night. She slipped the ring on her finger. Better get out there. Don't want to keep him waiting. She stepped out of the bathroom, scanning the restaurant. Light jazz music played over the speakers while servers in black tuxedos moved swiftly, some carrying trays above their shoulders. It was a small establishment, maybe 10 tables in total, but it looked fancy. White cloth covered each table. Tasteful paintings adorned its bronze patina walls. Couples chatted quietly, sipping on drinks or eating from their plates. She also noticed the camera mounted in the corner, focused on the center of the room, where he sat alone, hands folded neatly on his lap as he glanced around nervously. Well, just don't stand here. She took a step forward, and then another, her palms beginning to sweat. It was like their first date all over again. What if she said something stupid? Or if he got triggered? She'd been warned about that. That's why they decided it was best to meet in a controlled environment. If things went badly, they could shut it down quickly. Sorry to keep you waiting, she said, her voice sounding awkward. She pulled out her chair and sat down, unfolding and placing the napkin on her lap. Looking up, she couldn't believe they'd actually found someone who looked like Michael. He gazed at her with hazel eyes, his auburn hair parted to the side, freshly cut and gelled, his dress shirt revealing an athletic body underneath. Laura? He said with bewildered surprise. How did I get here? She took a sip of water, though she wasn't thirsty. Once finished, she smiled, hoping it didn't appear as false as it felt. Honey, don't worry about that, she replied, trying to sound natural. What matters is that we're here together. It's been so long since we've been on a date. But, Laura, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right," he replied, his voice rising in pitch, growing insistent. A few diners turned their heads and glanced at him, some of them whispering among themselves, before returning to their meals. Laura pretended she didn't notice. "Let's look at the specials. I think they're serving your favorite dish." Laura picked up the menu, trying to reroute the conversation. "All I remember is jogging," he continued. "It was so foggy. The headlights, they seemed to come out of nowhere. And then... "It's okay, honey," she said, reaching across the table. "That's over now. Things may not feel right, but they'll get better. It'll just take some time." Michael lifted his hand from his lap and moved to touch her. His fingertips were inches from her outstretched palm when he froze, raising his hand to his face. His hazel eyes widened. "Laura, what's happening? This isn't..." They told her this could happen. The technology was still in its infancy, and Michael was one of their first successful implants. Most of the previous ones never took, or if they did, the moment the client consciousness was downloaded, the host suffered a complete mental collapse. Some had even killed themselves, clawing out their throats with their bare hands or bashing their heads on any available surface until their skulls were cracked wide open. But she was willing to risk it all just to have her Michael back. He began to breathe heavily, his chest heaving in and out. He grabbed a fork and held it to his face, his eyes focused on its polished surface. And then he screamed, his eyeballs bulging, his lips peeled back in a caricature of abject horror. The screaming continued until men and women in lab coats rushed from the kitchen, one of them carrying a needle with which to sedate him. The diners stood up from their tables and followed, but it was too late. Michael sat motionless in the chair, the fork buried deep in his eye socket, blood streaming down his face. And then it was Laura's turn to scream. Blind Date was submitted by Matt Dennis. If you are a creator of dark matter and would like to have some of your work receive the, how shall I put it, Nocturnal Transmissions treatment, send your story to noctranspodcast@gmail.com. You'll find a link on the website as well, nocturnaltransmissions.com.au. We read everything that is sent to us, and even though only a small percentage makes it onto the podcast, we treat it all with the utmost respect and discretion. Once again, that's noctranspodcast@gmail.com if you would like to submit. Watched a horror movie a few nights back, you know. Talk to Me by the Brothers Philippou. You've probably heard of it. A bunch of young people begin fooling around with an embalmed hand that allows one to make contact with the spirit world. And things go, unsurprisingly, badly. Who would have thought? This is another cracking offering from A24, who just can't stop themselves from supporting great horror cinema. If you love Australian-made horror films and hate kangaroos, well, this'll be the most fun you've had since Wake in Fright. Yes, indeed. Talk to Me by Danny and Michael Philippou. Nocturnal Transmissions recommends it. We really do actually quite like kangaroos here at Nocturnal Transmissions, by the way. If you're like-minded, you'll be happy to know that the amount of suffering humans greatly outnumbers that of indigenous wildlife in Talk to Me. So, just try to focus on that. Goodness knows, those bloody humans have it coming, don't they? Speaking of humans, they're not all bad, I suppose. After all, some of them choose to support our humble production. These are, of course, our beloved Patreon subscribers, who we thank for helping to make this episode possible. A particular thank you goes out to our esteemed cohorts, the highest ranked of our beloved subscribers. Rebecca Gates, Rachel Brown, Daniel Clanton, Thomas Arvin, Azaran Warrens, Brett Allen, Wayne Prince, Tippy Polo, Bool Swivney, Arnie Frank, Alicia Townsend, Sam Hankins, Kel Wielden, Fabled Words, Wildy, Adam, Hisu, JB. Shh, just listen. Mudkip, Robert Troy Hampton Peterson, The Traveller, Alexis Nolasco, Evan Dooley, Alex Brewis, and Daniel Kamiankowski. Joining our esteemed cohorts are two new Acolyte subscribers who we would like to take a moment to officially welcome to the Nocturnal Transmissions family. Robert Grossman and Brandy. Welcome. You have been listening to a transmission from Nocturnal Transmissions. All non-public domain stories are featured with the permission of the authors. All voices and production are concocted by Kristin Holland. Until next time, as always, watch the skies, fear the dark, and don't trust anyone. Especially yourself. Good night, gentle listener.
But when the lazy moon comes up and shines